Yo, what up? My name's Antonio Kanja. This is Should We Do a Podcast? Running on here. All right. Feel free to look at the camera, look at me, whatever you want to do.
The tiniest thing's the camera.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
So we're running.
Is that 4K?
Yes, sir.
That's badass.
Hell yeah. All right, so welcome back to the podcast. Should We Do a Podcast? The show where I grab people and see, should we do a podcast?
I think yes.
So today we got our guest is Maher. I could not find your last name.
Last name is Rabah Nasser.
Rabah Nasser.
Hyphenated last name, yes, it's Middle Eastern naming traditions. That's how it usually goes.
Gotcha. So because I was like on your Twitter, but we'll get to that.
Oh, the Twitter is locked down for a reason. We'll talk about that one later.
All right, so we're gonna start it how I always start it. What's your oh shit, it's getting loud as fuck. Anyways, what's your experience with podcasts? Do you listen to them? Do you like podcasts? Do you not?
It depends. If it's the right topic, I'll listen to them. But for the most part, like from my car, like long road trips, I like to just blast music more than listening to other people.
Yeah. So like, what podcasts have you listened to?
Couldn't tell you any specific things. It's honestly just whatever is going on. What's his face? Rogan.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah, just because of Elon on that shit. Like
that
I watched those, stop meaning to.
That one. So I really like Joe Rogan, but his podcasts are long as shit. They're like 3.5 hours. Like, damn. Elon Musk's was really good though. I like his because there's a video too. Yeah. Like sometimes I'm just like, oh, these people are like super interesting, but I like want to see them like animate. Yep. Especially like Joe Rogan or not Joe Rogan, Elon Musk when he's like smoking. That shit was so funny.
Yeah, exactly. I saw it on Twitter and I was like, all right, I'll go watch this then.
All right. So speaking of your Twitter, that leads me to two questions that I had to ask. I have to ask. Who is Nelson Spaghetti?
Great question.
Because I was like looking for you, and I was like, I know his name's not Maher. I was like, something. I was like, it's Nelson something, and I was like, who the fuck is this random ass person?
Did you Google it?
Oh, I Googled him, but I was like, I'm wondering. So for the people who don't know, he's a person on Silicon Valley.
Yeah, he's not even a main character in Silicon Valley. He is a side character who, at the beginning of the entire series, like, if you haven't watched the series at all, it's these tech guys that build up like this.
Yeah, I never watched. I like know the idea of it, and I know a couple of people on it, but I've never.
Okay, so they got like a startup company, and then the one guy who doesn't do the startup with them gets bought out by the other company. He literally did nothing, but he ends up like a millionaire off the whole thing, and he's just dumb. Like, he's funny dumb. Like, he just has no idea what the hell he's doing, but he lucks into money, and he's, like, really successful while these guys are busting their asses and, like, getting nothing to show for it. So, at the time when I was working at my job, my buddy was like, dude, you are literally Nelson Spaghetti. You sit here, you do nothing. You get paid way too much to do this shit. And that's when I was like, dude, goals in life. I want to be Nelson Spaghetti. And that was the same time I locked the Twitter down from, like, I didn't want students to be able to find it because I was teaching at the time.
Where were you teaching at?
At that time, it was U of M Dearborn.
You were a professor?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I still teach at like Washtenaw Community College, ITT Tech back when it was a thing.
What the fuck? I didn't know that. That's sweet.
Yep. Gotta stay busy.
Hell yeah. I mean, I graduated from U of M, so.
Yep, same. That's how I got in. My old professor, Maxim, in like the IT department, just gave me a cosign. He's like, yo, this guy knows his stuff. So I started teaching at, what was my first thing? I started teaching at ITT Tech in Canton for a minute, and then they went bankrupt, so I was like, shit. Started teaching at Washtenaw over in Ann Arbor or Ypsi, and then U of M Dearborn called, taught a couple classes there as well. So I'm mostly just adjunct at this point. Like, I'm going to get my master's down the road and just become a full-time professor because their life is so much more chill than anyone else. Like
a professor? I feel like it's so... I feel like being a professor kind of sucks. I feel like it's kind of easier, like, especially the memes about, like, a teacher, like a high school teacher versus, like, a college professor.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely no high school. Like the kids alone would ruin high school for me. Like, fuck are you gonna do with a bunch of high school kids, you know?
So wait, what classes were you teaching? At
U of M Dearborn, I taught software architecture and software documentation class.
Damn.
It was like CIS 3476. I forget the exact number for it. But yeah, I filled in for the summer. And that's what it is. Like, they have tenured professors that have been doing it forever. And these guys want to go on vacation, sabbatical, and whatever. Yeah. So they reach out to the adjunct, insert me. And they're like, hey, yo, you want to do this? Like, Washington, I a 9 a.m. Saturday class. You want to know why I got that? Because nobody else wanted to fucking teach a 9 a.m. Saturday class. Who wants to do that shit? So.
No, all those professors is trying to wake up at 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
Dude, yeah, it was during college football season too. So like half these kids would show up to my class and like ready to pregame and like go to the Michigan game because it's right next to Ann Arbor. So I would let class out early sometimes. They'd be like, hell yeah, we're gonna go party and stuff. But then I had some students that were like wanted to stay till 1 every single day. And like would get mad when I'd let class out early. I'm like,
9 a.m. to 1?
9 a.m. to 1, once a week. It was a 4-credit class.
Oh.
And these kids just,
I guess that's not that bad.
like, I was in college not too long ago. And I was like, I would be so happy when my professors would be like, yo, let us out early. Especially you have nothing else to do. Like,
especially on a Saturday.
On a Saturday, and I've covered everything I needed to cover. And I'd ask the class if they had any questions. And then no questions. I'm like, all right, for sure, you guys can leave. And I thought it was all fun and games until a couple of kids in the class are going to the chair of, like, the department. Like, oh, he lets class out early. This. The chair hit me up laughing.
Oh.
He was like, bro, these kids are like
these fucking nerds. These fucking nerds are being fucking snitches.
Yeah, he's like, don't even worry about it. And like, you get the assessments back at the end of the year, like the teacher assessments, and a couple of kids were like, let's class out early. And then like for every one of those, there were 7 people that were like, this guy teaches really quickly and he lets us out early. This guy's badass. I learned so much in his class. So I'm like, for every 7, you'll have that one person. So.
Damn.
Yeah, I haven't taught a 9 a.m. class since, but definitely gonna do it full time once I get bored of the Little Caesars life, the 9 to 5 life. I'll just switch over to that.
So what do you do here? Because we're in the. Can we say where we're?
Yeah,
we're in the Little Caesars. I don't even know
the
what.
The technical term is the Global Resource Center, but it's just the Little Caesars headquarters.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What do I do here? Just anything and everything IT. So between web design. Mobile app design. So, like, have you ever had a Little Caesars pizza? You've heard of them, right? They're a pretty decent company nowadays.
They have those $6 things, right? Like they're ready in like 10 minutes.
They're ready and they're hot.
Yeah.
No, that one. Yup. Look at that. It's all over you.
You can't see it if you're watching. I'm so sorry, but there's a big ass screen. It's just like full of hot and ready. It's showing it.
Is this my promo? Little Caesars with the ripest of vegetables, picked daily every single day, straight from the field to your table. Little Caesars pizza.
He's wearing a Little Caesars.
Oh yeah, I'm a walking billboard right now.
So yeah, I've had a hot and sweaty.
Yes, you're welcome. I am the reason that happened. This pizza didn't exist before I started working here.
Damn. You're Caesar?
I am Caesar.
You're Little Caesar.
I am Little Caesar. I've grown. I'm medium Caesar now.
Oh man, you better watch your back.
Dude, they're everywhere. Got Jets, got Domino's. All
You're about to get a stab in the back.
But yeah, a lot of our point of sale system, like registers and stuff. So we do a lot of the coding for that, like credit card transactions and stuff in store, and mostly bug fixes for like reports for franchisees and whatever it is. Like the mobile app, they got the online. Oh yeah. Little Caesars now offers delivery using DoorDash. For a small fee, you too can get a pizza delivered to your doorstep.
Not sponsored by Little Caesars, but I really want a hot and ready now. So is the cafeteria here just full of hot and ready, or you guys probably don't even have any hot and readies? They're probably
Ain't that some shit? We don't have a pizza place, like a public pizza place. We have a kitchen down that way. That's for commercials. Because previously, they use it for commercials and for training. Like when a franchisee buys a store or something else, they just set that whole thing up and they train them there. And the reason for that is because before, like all the commercials you see on TV, those were actual stores. And since stores are busy during the day, they would record those all at like 2 or 3 a.m. They would just go into a bunch of lights, make it look like it's daytime and all the commercials. But that was just like a random store like in Trenton or whatever. And they just go in there with a bunch of lights and they're like, all right, 3 a.m., let's record this commercial. But now we have that here with the new headquarters. So that's what it's mostly used for, like marketing purposes and training. But yeah, in terms of an actual store, we were supposed to have like a storefront location down there, but they scratched it and they got other stuff coming in, I guess. So
probably salads and shit.
It's
Little Caesar salads.
It's not Little Caesars at all, though. Like we don't even have a store. The closest Little Caesars store to us is the one on Warren, like near Wayne State.
Oh shit.
So you gotta head down that way. So yeah, that's why we were all like wondering, because like McDonald's headquarters has McDonald's, Burger, like all these places.
I mean that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, they might just be going for a certain target market out this way too. Like they don't want to get a bunch of college kids coming here and buying pizzas though. They try to keep it more professional. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of ducked off. I didn't know that. I didn't know that this building was here.
If I had $1 for every time someone was like, "Oh, I'm coming to your work. I'm at the arena," and I'm like, I go there to watch Piston games.
That's where I thought we were going.
Yep.
Damn. So no Little Caesars. So no pizzas here. All right. So I guess that's fine. But
I mean, we do have the kitchen. You can make pizzas, but they're not sold publicly.
Oh, really?
So we make them for like our internal meetings.
Seriously?
But you can't just walk around and just like go to a pizza store. Great. Yeah, we'll literally walk over there and check it out.
Damn, that's dope as fuck. Oh. Wow, I'm fucking shook by that. That's sweet as fuck.
They're trying really hard to make us fat here. They'll just supply pizza to every single meeting.
It's like fucking what's it called? It's like Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
The once a month where they have you. That is a
month.
scam, by the way. Bro, I was talking to somebody. It's like that's why the reason why they have fresh bagels. What's it? The first Monday.
First Tuesday's bagels, first Monday, or second Tuesday's bagels, first Monday's pizza.
They want to keep you fat,
that's
so you should stay there.
And you know what they do is they just piss me off because that's the day I don't go because I don't even think about it and I roll up to the gym and as soon as I see the parking lot full, I'm like, God damn it, it's that first Monday, isn't it? Check the phone.
Trying to get that pizza.
Right, I'm just gonna go home and do some push-ups till my arms fall off.
I'm gonna go get my own hot and ready.
Yeah, enough of this shit.
So you do IT here, and so you're trying to be the Nelson the big head of. I thought it had something to do with big head because they kept calling. When I was googling him, I was like, big head. I was like, does he have a big head? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
That's funny. The series finale of that is they reveal that he didn't even know why they were calling him Big Head the whole time. They're calling him Big Head because his last name is Bighetti and it sounds like Big Head.
Yeah.
So they say like Big Eddie, and this whole time he thought that they thought he had a big head.
Oh, like physically.
He's like really that kind of dumb guy. They just go, oh, Big Getty, and he connected the dots. He's like, that's why they call me Big Head. I thought they were making fun of my big old dome this whole time. So yeah, no, Nelson's a funny guy. Like I said, I was just trying to lay low key on Twitter, and I still do because I had it locked down on private, and Twitter's just not the same when you can't like tweet celebrities and get them retweeting your shit and just like being mad at you. So I was like, you know what? Second way to go at it. I'm just gonna become someone else on Twitter, and everyone who knows me knows who I am. Everyone else,
and so the other thing that I was gonna ask you about Twitter. Tell us who Octavius Rex is. Because I know who Octavius Rex is. I know who it is strictly from. I have a deep knowledge of a few things, and like that, I was like, that name sounds so familiar, and it like took me a minute. And I was like, long, tan, and handsome.
Mape. Oh yeah.
So for the people who don't know, who is Octavius Rex?
Octavius Rex is long, tan, and handsome, aka Pearl's prom date from like episode 200 of SpongeBob. I don't even know what the hell it was.
It's some random shit.
It's so random, and I forgot how it came into play. I want to say a girl one time called me like long, tan, and handsome, and I was like, oh, like the guy from SpongeBob. Looked it up, and then I was like, oh, Octavius Rex. All right, I'm gonna be Octavius Rex. So I changed that, and then it was taken. So I'm zero Octavius Rex.
Yeah.
So the O was taken, and I was like, oh, damn it. And the guy who used that handle hasn't used Twitter in like 5 years. So I'm like, what the hell? Just clear it out for the real Octavius Rex.
Just tweet it. I always wonder how those work. How do you get
Well, Twitter said that they're gonna go through and clean up every profile that hasn't been used in like 3 or 4 years and just wipe their like usernames. Oh. They lied. They said they were going to do it like last year, and they never did. So unless they did and someone grabbed it before me, but I check up like once every 6 months. It's like, I'm sick of being zero Octavius Rex.
On Octavius Rex. So if the real Octavius Rex is out there, or not the real, we got the real Octavius Rex here, but if you have the Twitter handle Octavius Rex, fucking give it up.
Seriously, dude, come on. Stop playing with me. No, it's funny because like in the actual show, the guy who's like long, kind of handsome, and then they meet him in real life, and he's like this tiny little nerdy guy.
Yeah,
so I'm like, damn, I'm throwing a bad vibe. Like people are gonna meet me in real life, and I'm just gonna be like, 3 feet tall, just like this little nerd.
Meep. They're gonna be like, wow, long, tan, and handsome works in IT.
Yeah.
So with Sponge. I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that was the funniest thing. So like I was wondering how does SpongeBob like affect your daily? How does it affect your life as a whole? Because I know as my like, so recently I just played trivia with a bunch of my cousins and we got to like we were in the fucking like 4th place, and it got to the very end and it's like the bonus round. He's like, oh, okay, this is the end of the line. I was like, guys, we're gonna win this. We're bringing this one home. So it's like the final category was like the person's name is gonna come is his initials are in the letter bagel. So like mix of like BAGEL.
Mm-hmm.
Those are his initials. Something in there. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, okay, what Scandinavian? And I like right there I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, it's Leif Erikson. And I'm like sitting there with all my cousins and they're like, you didn't even hear the rest of that. I was like, I know for a fact it's Leif Erikson. And they're like, how do you? I was like, just trust me. I know it's Leif Erikson.
I watched SpongeBob a couple times.
Literally like runs through and then it gets to the end and they're like reading off the answer. And it was Leif Erikson. And my cousin comes up to me and goes, how the fuck did you know that? He's like, you didn't even listen to the question. I was like, you really want to know how I know? I was like, there's an episode of SpongeBob where they talk about Leif Erikson Day. And that's the only point of reference that I have with Leif Erikson.
That's all you need, dude. SpongeBob. Education system in this country has failed us. We need to just teach SpongeBob to everyone and communicate strictly through SpongeBob.
I think it's so crazy that like people don't like my girlfriend wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob growing up. What? And like that's so
what kind of deprived childhood was this?
That's what I said. Like that's just crazy. So I was like, besides the long tan and handsome, like, do you have any other like SpongeBob?
Oh my god, where do I start? Have you ever seen the meme where it's like me with SpongeBob references and he's just pouring a giant bucket like on everything?
Like with the love.
Yeah, like every single thing, just like me, just you know that one SpongeBob reference. This reminds me of that one SpongeBob episode. That's me. I'm that guy in the crew. So
just always dropping the.
Yeah, there's so many relevant moments. Like my favorite one I always use around here because like I work with a lot of older square guys that are just like 9-to-5ers. Is the one where he acts normal. First one, just go, hey, how's the weather? How's it going?
Hi, I'm normal.
So I just walk around. I'm like, hey, how's the weather? How's it going, John? How's it going, Bob? They're just like, fuck off.
I think it's so funny when you drop a SpongeBob reference on somebody and they just don't get it.
Oh, we're not friends at that.
It was point. Yeah.
Carry on.
Like, hi, I'm normal.
Yeah, I'm normal. Yeah, that episode was like so great when he's sitting in his car. And like at work, and he just looks like sad, and then he just goes to sleep, and his wife's like, "You coming to bed?" And he just wakes up and does work again. I'm like, it's literally these guys that I work with. So.
That's the 9-to-5. So you're in the 9-to-5 life? Is that how?
I prefer the 10 to 6 life. Hence why we're here later today because I like to dodge rush hour traffic and stay up later. So I usually come in later, like 10:30 ish, and just hang out later because. Yeah, if I like the times I would leave at 5, I'd get home at the same time anyway because I was stuck in traffic. So I was like, why the hell not?
So so how do you feel about corporate America? Like,
because it's funny answering this question in here.
This is corporate America just bland.
Yes, corporate America, good as a stepping stone. Like if you're working, if you're obviously the owner or the founder, you're having a blast with that shit. You're just milking it. You're making money off it. If you're an employee, my advice is to stack up to do your own thing because you're not going to do this forever. Like I know damn well, like I love software engineering. I love IT, love working and everything else. I'm not going to be here forever. That's just not how it is. I'm not made to have someone else set my schedule for like the best years of my life. So yeah, no, you like some people have that same mindset, but also end up neglecting the fact they do have responsibilities. I'm like, yeah, you don't want to be part of like corporate life and everything else, but you kind of have to. I'm gonna have an Oprah quote right here. You have to do what you have to do to be able to do what you want to do. Damn. Or you have to do. Yeah, you have to. Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Look that up. There's a better way to say it. But no, that really resonates with me, just because like, yeah, like. Do people want to sacrifice like 40 hours a week to do this? No, but would people rather sacrifice a few years, stack up, invest, and do things the right way, and then be set for life? Hell yeah, sign me up any day of the week. So that's kind of the path that I'm going on now. With the full-time professor thing, I'm like, I consider that like my early retirement because, dude, full-time professors, I had this one guy, I'm not going to name drop any names here, professor. I forgot what class I had you for. The guy just taught Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it was like 6 to 8. So I'm like, that's 4 hours a week. He used the same tests, same exams, same homework assignments and everything else.
For years.
For literally the last like 10, 15 years. He had an auto grader where you just upload it and it would auto grade for him. I'm like, what the hell is this guy really doing? You know? And like U of M has all the salaries disclosed publicly because it's a public university. So I could see this guy was raking in the money. And I'm like, dude, this guy is making that much money, working like 4 hours a week,
Not doing
and
shit.
gets like summers off whenever he wants and shit like that. And it was at that point when I was like, I want that life. Let me have that
A
life.
professor. I guess I never realized. I always feel like at that point, like, that's when you're like checked out. When you're like, I'm done.
Yeah, like the older professors, they put that shit in cruise control. Once they get tenured, like they can't get rid of them. They're just gonna be there forever. So these guys.
What is that? Is that what that means? I never knew what tenured means. Like they're just locked in. Like they've been there for so long, they're just locked in.
Yep. Once you get to like a certain level, I mean, they even have tenure for like high school teacher positions and stuff like that. So yeah, if you've been at the school for like 5 years, you get in the tenure program. So you start off as like a junior professor, work your way up to like actual professor, and then if they give you tenure, then literally you can do anything like everything except for like breaking the law, and they'll keep you.
Damn. Like they have to keep you? Or?
Yeah, like it's a lifetime contract. Like
wow.
with LeBron signing with Nike when he was like 18,
yeah,
like he can just say the stupidest shit, whatever, and they're like, yeah, we're still paying you. It's LeBron, So these guys sign like lifetime contracts to be with that university. I mean, granted, they do have to provide certain levels of like research and like funding every single year, but when you compare it to other lifestyles that you could be having, I'm like, this is so chill. These guys just, and it's not as easy as I'm making it sound. It's not just 4 hours a week,
it sounds super easy, but I guess you got, because I mean I have a couple of friends who are like starting to be teachers, but like second, third, fourth, like fifth grade, but like writing lesson plans doesn't sound very fun, but like I guess once you've been doing it for so long,
you do it once, it's like, a lot of things change, but like education wise, you're teaching the same subject, things aren't going to change that much. Like honestly, with my classes, as the years progressed, the only thing that changed was just the pop culture references I was making, like my banter between like sections and stuff like that. Like, oh, I can't reference Game of Thrones anymore, it's over, all right, let me find something else then. So that's all that would change up between like semesters. Other than that, it's just like
just find what's hot.
Yeah, and like because you have to relate to the students at a certain point. I mean, it already helps. Like I'd walk in the first day I went in to teach, they were like, oh, another student. When's our professor going to get here? While I'm setting up shop in the front of the class. Yeah. And then I looked, and I was like, hey, guys, I'm your professor. And they're all like, God damn it. Like, these ITT Tech kids were, like, 40s and, like, 50s. So I grew on them, but at first they were like, I've been using computers since before you were born. Who do you think you are coming in here teaching me stuff? But like once you show them that you actually know what you're talking about, and like you're relatable and stuff, they have no other choice but to respect you, especially the fact that you're grading their shit. So like there's that too. But
because like that's that's wild. Jeez. Like that's wild. Like what are you, like 20? Let me guess, 27.
Nailed it.
Fuck yeah.
Jeez, you must have Googled Octavius Rex before you got here.
Long, tan, and handsome. Came up 27. So, like, damn, like, it's only 5 years older than me. And, like, to think that, like, you're a professor, like, that's crazy to me.
Fun fact, I actually started when I was 23.
You were a professor at 23?
That was when I was at ITT Tech.
What the shit?
Because I graduated when I was 22, and that was, like, in the winter. And then, I turned 23, and I started that winter semester. So, like, I definitely had a cosign by my professor, like, at the time. So I started teaching actually before ITT Tech. I even forgot. Grand Circus, which is, like, the IT startup company, if you've ever heard of them out here. So it's kind of like a boot camp where you go to school for 8 weeks, 40 hours a week, learning software engineering. And it's funded for by Bedrock, like, Quicken companies and Little Caesars and, like, the big name companies out here.
I'm here to...
So like people have landed jobs from that. Like, say you're a struggling waiter and you're like, I really want to learn how to code, I really want to learn how to do stuff in IT. They will put you in this program for 8 straight weeks, 40 hours a week. It replaces your full-time job, but you're not guaranteed, but pretty much guaranteed like a position making like 50 grand as soon as you get out of the program. I mean, tuition's kind of steep on it, so you do have to invest in yourself. But that's how I got started, because I was in school still at the time. It was my senior year. And over the summer, my professor was like, hey, they need someone to be like a TA kind of thing. So I ended up just doing that. And once I got that on my resume, I just started meeting more and more people in like the education industry. And I was like, all right, use this guy as a reference, use this guy. And before you knew it, I was standing in front of a class with a bunch of 50-year-olds. And I was like,
that's fucking crazy. At 23, like, as a professor, like, how did you, like, how do you walk up and, like, especially teaching, like, 50-year-olds, like, how would you do that? Like, can't imagine going up there and like being like, hey, this is how we learn.
My first step, well, I went to the first couple ones and I just like, I don't know, I think I'm a decent public speaker, and the good thing is when you're teaching IT people is they are all so awkward and antisocial that I'm like Rico Suave in front of these guys. I'm walking up in front of the class and they're like, wow, this guy's confident. He just looked me in the eye for more than a second. So it's like, I got that going.
Long Tan and Handsome just walked in.
So yeah, there's that. And then I started growing the beard out because I didn't have any facial hair at the time. So I was like, oh, I'll make myself look more mature and stuff. Yeah, I was literally like rocking that. Just had like the goatee going.
Except this is all I can do.
So I had that. I was like, all right, I'm going to try to look more like mature and everything else. But you can try to look a certain part. Mannerisms, like, well, people can find out exactly how young you are based on like the way you act, the way you're like checking your phone and all this other shit. So I actually started looking up pop culture references from like the 70s and 80s. Like music stuff. Like I didn't even like bands from like back then and stuff, but I would just walk up and I forgot what.
I was gonna say, so like, what would you drop? What would you drop to be like, hey students?
Yeah, I'm one of you guys.
I am hip, but hip in the opposite generational.
Yeah, I want to say I made like a Rolling Stones reference one time, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen something that crazy since the Beatles were on tour and some shit like that. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, was that the wrong year? Like, am I calling them old by saying that? Like, I don't know my years at this point. But yeah, I definitely looked up like older school stuff.
Did that work?
It helped me relate to them. Like, by the end of it, they were downloading my apps because I had like a bunch of mobile games and stuff, and they were playing my games and stuff. They're like, wow, Professor made this. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, kids, let's do this.
What's up, kids? You 50-year-olds,
grown ass.
Damn, that's fucking wild.
But yeah, and I've taken a couple semesters off, not just because they wanted me to teach like summers and morning classes. Like, it's the classes that nobody else wants to teach, and it was cool when I was getting my feet like wet in the industry. But at this point, I got all my my real estate is like my side hustle that has overtaken my teaching, because I'm like, that occupies most of my time when I'm not here. So yeah, just staying busy.
Damn, triple threat. So a professor, a real estate mogul,
yes,
and an IT guy or a software engineer.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's getting to the point where I consider myself the real estate guy before software engineer. Like, I'm
really
more interested in that now than the actual software side of things.
And you've been doing, I mean, that's what you graduated with. So what, you've been doing software engineering for like, what, 5, 6?
Yep, 6 years. Yeah, it's actually been that long. It's crazy because there was a point when I used to fake like my experience on my resume. I'm like, I've been doing this for 5 years. And like, I don't have to do that. I just realized I don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. It's actually been that long.
5, 6 years? Damn.
Yeah, no, I got started. I was actually at DTE. I've always been like a downtown Detroit boy. Like, I worked at DTE at first, and I was working at Mickey D's at the time. Like, I was at the airport just flipping burgers and taking orders and shit on the register. So I was accustomed to a certain life, and then I got there, and I'm like, that was my first exposure to like an office environment. And I was like, dude, people hate on this and all, but I'm like, I could be doing a lot worse right now. Like, all I have to do is just hang out with these old people, bond with them every now and then. I get paid way more than before. I don't go home smelling like burgers, and just chill. And then like, they introduced me to the basketball court they had on the 6th floor, and from that point on, guess we never worked again. We just go up there and just hoop like all day and stuff. So it was pretty chill, and that's when I realized, I'm like, you know what, we're gonna stick to this software stuff and see how far it takes us.
And now, so that just led you. Did that lead you to the real estate thing? Well, no, that led you to the teaching thing, and then the teaching thing led you to the real estate thing?
No, the real estate thing was actually more family oriented, because my dad's had like rental properties. He's been a landlord ever since I was born, really. So I watched him do it, and like, he has a couple of things that like I would have done differently. So when I had the opportunity, I was like, you know what, I've gotten all the pros out of this. I'm going to subtract all the cons. I'm just going to go at it head first. So I used to day trade a bunch of stocks is how I made my money. Well, how I used to pass my time. That was like my version of gambling.
How I made my money.
Yeah, because I was getting money like when I was in college, and it went from being like a broke college kid to like, holy shit, I actually have money to spend. Like, I don't have to buy off the dollar menu anymore. But then I was like, I could blow this all on like stupid nonsense, or I could be smart about it. So yeah, I went with the investing, and it was really risky and stupid. Like, I threw a bunch of money into Twitter. I remember the time, because I'm like, I use Twitter. My friends use Twitter. What could go wrong? Done. Twitter. I pulled out. I mean, I made good money. Like, for the time, I made like quick like $100 off it or whatever. But that was like my first taste where I was like, holy shit, I just made all that money in like a couple hours day trading stocks. So yeah, I was just full force right into that, and I just kept day trading, and just like, I mean, you lose some every now and then, but I was winning like 8 out of every 10 of my trades and stuff. So it was trending in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And then the homie Trump came into office, and now he started tweeting like Amazon doesn't pay taxes or Amazon this, and he just crashed the stock market. Like I invested in all like IT stocks because that's what I know, like the whole tech sector. So at that point, it wasn't even like logical investing. It was roll of the dice. I'm like, put all my money on Google and hope that Trump doesn't come after them today. Yeah. And that's what he was doing. He was like terrifying like random people. So like Apple stock was crashing, everything else. So I was like, you know what? I need something safer, way more like calm. That's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy some houses up. Let's see how this goes. So yeah, delved into the real estate thing. Started buying houses around the area, and I've had no complaints with it thus far. I mean, you find good tenants, you're set. Like it literally manages itself.
Damn. How many houses you got?
I'm at 6 now.
Damn.
So, oldest one is like 2.5 years now, and I got it all set up to a pretty streamlined process. Like, you've done it once, you've done it before. So like I'll get the house and like list it online, and after that they pay me like digitally, like whether like Zelle or Venmo or anything else. So very rarely will things like when things break, I got handymen in the area that can go and help out and stuff. But yes, young kids watching, invest your money properly. You will thank me when you grow up.
Damn, this is all coming from the guy who maybe 10 minutes ago was talking about SpongeBob memes.
Octavius Rex is still alive, all right? You can't lose Octavius Rex.
Octavius Rex just owns property. Fun fact, Octavius Rex from SpongeBob works at Weenie Hut Jr.
Does he really?
That's your SpongeBob fact for today.
I'm mad that I didn't know that.
That's your SpongeBob fact.
At Weenie Hut Jr. Like, so in that episode, he's in there.
Yeah, in the one, or no, that's because that.
Or is that the movie?
Yeah. No, the one where they go into the salty spittoon and
that with the tattoo.
I think he's in there. Yeah.
Oh, wow, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch some SpongeBob tonight. Looks like I got my plans for the night.
Oh man, crazy shit. I think this is a good place to take a break. So we'll be right back.
What up, everybody? It's Antonio coming at you from quarantine. If you're watching, keep all these chicken nuggets, the dinosaur ones. And if you're listening, I'm sorry. Just know that I have dinosaur chicken nuggets. But I appreciate you listening to the podcast. If you like it, you should check out my website, AntonioConja.com. Got all the stuff I've ever worked on. Podcasts, vlogs, short films, work I've done for a bunch of people, stuff with my friends. So yeah, just check it out. I would appreciate it. I put a lot of time into it, especially during quarantine. So AntonioConja.com. Thanks. Back to the pod.
Okay, and we're back. I took a little pee break and got some water, and we just started going. and I wanted to catch it before we got into it. Okay, so you're gonna say your favorite artist is Kanye.
Yes.
All right, what were you gonna say? Because that was our first interaction. I don't know if you remember when we went and saw the Life of Pablo thing at Southfield. Not Southfield.
No. Dearborn.
Yeah, Fairlane.
Fairlane,
yeah. When we went and saw that. Crazy. But okay, so what were you gonna say? Sorry to cut you off.
Where do I even start? Yeah, Kanye, like the College Dropout. That was what I blasted nonstop, and it's not because I'm so old that it came out when I graduated college, but it just stuck with me because I was working in the computer lab, like at school, during like while I was in school, and I'd have a lot of time to just listen to music, and I would just blast the College Dropout, and I'm like, dude, this makes sense. Like half the shit he's talking about, where it's just like the world wants you to be a certain person. They want to mold you and just take away everything that makes you who you are. And I was like, fuck that. I'm going to be my own person. Like, it worked for Kanye. Like, everyone told him do this. Everyone told him do this, do this. He ended up doing his own thing. And I think it worked out for him a little better than most of the other people that told him how to do shit.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not like he wasn't going about it in a wrong way. I'm like, yeah, you're not being disrespectful. I'm not, like, fucking cussing people out and, like, robbing people and shit. My path is different
unapologetically
than yours.
yourself.
So, like, when people ask me, why'd you leave DTE? Because I was working at DTE Energy for a while, and everyone's like, it's a great big boy job, whatever. I'm like, they didn't pay shit. I was bored of everyone there. Like, it's a bunch of corporate squares, and there's a dress code there, like business casual. It just wasn't me. And people like, all these older people that were like, you're crazy. You could have retired there 40 more years. You would have been fine. You could have worked your way up and almost been a manager or some shit. It ties into the what's it called? Is that the school spirit skit? I forget which one it is.
Oh, he's like,
if you kiss enough ass, you too can be the secretary and shit. Or it's like, and the secretary is actually just the boss's daughter who didn't get any college education or anything else. That's how the world works. It's not what
which
you
skit
know.
is that?
That one is.
That's gonna piss me off.
It's not school spirit. Peep that. You went to school. I can hear what's his face talking. Holy shit, I forget his name.
Jamie Foxx? No,
a dead comedian.
Oh, the guy who just he just died, right?
No, he died in like 2010.
Oh, I don't know. I literally was listening to albums to refresh myself, and I didn't get to the College Dropout. I started at the end.
I haven't listened to it in a minute either. Damn, I'm gonna completely forget. And the skit was Little Jimmy.
Little Jimmy, yeah,
Little Jimmy,
yeah.
that's what it was. So just listening to that nonstop, and I was like, this speaks to me. Like, the real world wants you to do this, and then like the John Mayer song where I don't know if you ever seen the Kanye interview where, are we over?
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Just making sure.
Kanye looked up to John Mayer at the time as his inspiration because he made No Such Thing. If you ever heard John Mayer's song, listen to that or watch the Kanye interview where they're both together. And it's the chorus of the song is, I just found out there's no such thing as the real world, which is what John Mayer's song was. And then Kanye said that he took that song and that's what the entire College Dropout was based off of that album.
Damn.
Because that one song inspired like the way I thought because, yeah, like movies.
Love John Mayer.
Whether it's like your friends, family, movies, whatever you were like influenced by growing up, you probably thought like, oh, I have to go to school and then I have to work 9 to 5.
Go to school, you get a job,
you gotta get married, you gotta have kids before you have a chance to be who you are, and then you wait until they turn 18 so you can retire and buy a boat and just sit there on it and just drink yourself until you die. Like that's the way it's painted. Like that's goals like that. Fuck that ain't no goals. Like what the hell kind of weak ass goals is that? No, it's
weak ass goals.
That's very average person goals. Yeah, you gotta think bigger than that. And I don't want to sound like, because I know other people don't all have the same opportunities that we have. Like, you know, we were given a upbringing where we could go to school and everything else. But if you got good health and like good support system around you, you have no fucking excuse then to do. Like this country is just set up. Most of the college classes aren't even difficult. It's more busy work and like a test of your responsibility. Like, can you turn 100%. In assignments on time and shit? Like,
I think like college. I mean, I think college is a scam.
Oh, I guarantee. Completely agree.
100% college is a scam. And I like literally slept through college. The only trouble that I had was the classes that I like genuinely didn't give a shit about, like my meteorology class. Like I couldn't fucking tell you, and I like barely passed that because I couldn't tell you what was going on.
Yeah.
But like my production classes, my marketing classes, like I was getting A's doing nothing. And like I just like
guess what you were doing something. You were giving a lot of money every single semester.
Like it's just straight up just dog shit.
And it's like the people high up don't want to like raise a red flag because they're collecting a shit ton of money off it. You can't raise a red flag because you're stuck in the system. Like, what are you gonna do? Drop out and work at McDonald's? So you're kind of stuck in it, and you're just a cog in the wheel, and you're just like, I have to go through. That goes back to the Oprah quote. I said like, you have to do what you have to do what you want to do.
You have to do what you have to do to be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah,
I think that's the quote.
Yeah, that one. Just Photoshop me at the beginning saying that again. But yeah, so it ties into that where like no one's gonna be able to complain about the position that they're in. So we end up in this fucking awkward situation where kids are in class sleeping. Kids are in class like, I couldn't tell you how many classes I actually cared about. You want to know what I fucking did? Hang on, camera. Where's the camera at? I studied geology. I studied rocks for an entire semester, guys. I'm a computer scientist. I'm a nerd, a software engineer who cares about like music and everything else. I had to study rocks for a semester. I had to lick a rock to tell you if it was halite. That's the only way I could identify.
Really?
It. Yeah. Like me and my whole lab, we knew halite was salty. So like we would just take it, like rub our fingers on it, like lick our fingers and be like, this is it. And that's how we like that shit. And then after like we stopped, we were like, dude, what the fuck fuck did that have to do with anything software? Why did I just have to take that class? And then you realize you have to pay lab fees, tuition fees, and everything else. The class itself ended up costing like a couple grand, and then I'm like, oh, that's why they still have it on the curriculum, because it's a couple extra grand in their pockets. You multiply that by the 50 kids in here, and we're all studying rocks together, guys. Like, yeah, it's interesting.
And just to me, that's so. Even like classes that were on my major, I don't know. To me, it was too slow. Like I had a production. My advanced production class was my 4th year of college, and by then I had been messing with cameras for like 2 years, and like the whole first probably 2 weeks of the class was like, this is how you turn a camera on, this is how you record stuff, this is how you move the memory card to the computer. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I learned this on YouTube in like 5 minutes 2 years ago.
Dude, I was gonna say my like 5-year-old cousins probably learned that by now. Like,
bro, literally,
we live in a world nowadays where
YouTube is the YouTube college. I heard something like, oh yeah, just I don't know. I heard the term YouTube college.
Khan Academy. I don't know if you had to take any like calc classes. How high up did you have to go in math?
I never went past pre-calc.
See, and you're probably completely fine functioning in the real world, because guess what? No one's dropping down on you on Woodward Avenue saying, yo, find me the area underneath this line, motherfucker. Like, you know?
Tell you.
Exactly. So like, I had to take up the calc too, and it was stupid. Like,
I always thought that was funny when people in high school. Like, I had a couple of friends who were like, "Oh man, I'm in Calc 3." I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You think I even back then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I was like, I know for a fact I will never need to know Calc 3.
Yep.
Same thing with like in 3rd grade. I knew I would never have to write in cursive past my name.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
here we are.
That's all it is. It ties back to the Kanye thing I was talking about, that skit where he's like, no, I can't tell you what anything is, but I can count the change in your pocket really, really quickly. It's the stupid shit that you learn in the school system. And mind you, all the stuff that you do in calc now, guess what? A software engineer wrote a program that does it for you. All you have to do is literally just click a button, and it's like, oh, the derivative of this function is this, and this sequence runs to this, and the limit of this is this to this derivative. I'm like, I had to do this by hand. Why? Just because, and it's literally the answer is I had to do it like by hand, so you have to do it by hand.
Yeah.
50-year-old professor, before computers existed, had to do it on his own. I'm like, no, should we be teaching kids that not to use the technology given to them? Like what the hell? I have a phone now. Are we gonna force our kids to use like walkie-talkies first before they get a phone? Like, no, it's technology now. We just gotta run with it.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, and my biggest thing I always said, like when I was in elementary school, and like you were saying, like you felt like you were never challenged enough in your class.
100%.
When I was like in elementary school, everyone's like, oh, I would say like this is really easy, whatever. I know how to add. They're like, oh, wait till you get to middle school. It's gonna be hard. I'm like, all right, got to middle school. I'm like, yo, this is easy. You guys are still moving at a weird pace. Oh, wait till you get to high school. Okay, that's the big leagues. Get to like 10th, 11th grade, and then everyone's like,
wait till you get to college.
No, before even that, like wait till senior year. You're gonna have to do all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's done. It literally just slowly, gradually built upon that. And then I got to college, and yeah, it was the same way. They were like, oh, college is big boys. This is where everyone gets weeded out. Like, you can't just bullshit. You can't just skip class. You can't do this.
Yeah.
So I started doing that first couple of years. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's all fun and games now. Wait till your senior year, your thesis, all this shit's going to be so hard. You kids think you have it made. You think you know everything. College is done. I graduated. Then everyone's like, wait till you get a job. Yeah, once you become a real man in this world, talk to me. You get a job, you'll be the man and everything else. Start working at a job, and then I'm like, dude, this is the same thing. Like, life is literally like you make your life the way you want it to be.
Yeah.
Some people, I work with people here that make their lives more difficult than it needs to be. Like, don't get stuff done and then complain about it later on. I'm like, dude, it's literally it. If you know how to, it comes down to like responsibility and like self-control. If you are responsible in your own personal life, you'll be straight wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're the kind of guy who changes his oil on time, goes to the gym, like doesn't just eat a shit ton of food, doesn't drink himself into oblivion or anything else, you're probably going to be a good worker too, because you're like organized into the fact that you're like, you know better.
You can keep track of your own shit.
Yep. So that's where we end up now. Like, even now, I work with some people who are like, oh, wait till you get kids. Yeah, like it never ends.
It literally only gets worse until you're at the end, and then they're like, well,
It never
that's
ends. Like I will tell people, I'm like, oh, I have rental properties. They're like, oh yeah, wait till you buy an actual house. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, when you have an actual house, you have to maintain it. I'm like, I'm maintaining 6 properties. They're like, well, no, yours is just a little side thing. Wait till you have a real house. The furnace goes out. I'm like, I'll just get someone to fix the furnace. Like, why are you making shit so difficult?
Yeah.
Like, it's people.
I'm not fixing the furnace.
Exactly.
I don't have to know how to fix a furnace.
Dude, misery loves company. That's what, like when you were saying, when you got the job, people are just like, one of us now. Be sad with us, asshole. So
it's so crazy, so crazy. Damn.
So like, I definitely keep more to myself, like in terms of my investments and everything else, like to coworkers and stuff like that. Like, I'm not gonna come in like, oh yeah, I just collected rent, life's good, whatever. No,
the direct deposit hit.
Yeah, the direct deposit hits. We good out here. We eating, fam. Hot and ready's $5 at local Little Caesars.
Damn, I need a Little Caesars after this.
Lucky for you, right down the road. But yeah, it's because if you're too high up, like people feel like they can no longer relate to you, and they feel some type of way about it. So I'm like,
and then at that point, even when I feel like, I mean, I'm not. The only way that I can relate to that is like when I was in my production classes and people would ask me like, how do you know this? And I'm like, I just like, this moved too slow for me, so I did it at my own pace and I just went 100 times faster. Yep. Because like that's how I needed to do it. And people are like, oh, so why do you come in class and you just sleep all day? I'm like, because this is a waste of my time. Like I would sit in the back and I'd like edit my own shit or like, and then like people were asking me, they're like, oh, well, you just like, look at me like I'm some kind of asshole coming in. Because just not even because I like act like I'm better, but just because I actually know more and like do better.
God forbid you actually like do good for yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like.
And did the class have attendance?
Yeah.
God damn it, dude!
There was
that.
There was one time where I would always come in late to class because I'm like I'm working on my own stuff. I know I'm gonna go in and either sleep or work on my own stuff. So I'm like, it's not too weird. Like I knew what we were gonna do today, and I'd like have the in class like assignment done, and so then I would go in. But there was one time where I was like 15 minutes late because I like was in the middle of like an edit, and I'm like sitting there. I'm like, okay. So one of the girls from my class called me, and she's like, hey, are you coming to class? The professor wants to know. I'm like, don't you ever call me again asking me if I'm coming to class. You are not my mom. You are not my girlfriend. Like, you do not need to know if I'm coming to class. Hung up and walked in. And, like, the professor, like, gave me a weird look. And I was like, what's up? And she's like, I went and sat, and the girl was like, yeah, I had you on speaker, so everybody heard you yelling. And I was like, still, I'm here, aren't I? I made it. And they're like, okay, so today we're going to learn how to restart our camera. I'm like,
I'm glad
I got fucking called to do this. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh man, crazy as shit.
It's college, man. You got no other choice unless, like, there's dreams of like being a crazy actor, being an artist, whatever it is. But people don't realize that like that's one in every like billion people. Like how many NBA players are there?
Yeah.
There's 12, say 15 a team, 30 teams. There's 450 players.
Yeah.
How many people live within like 100 like miles of you right now?
Yeah.
Like, just think about how big the world is, and like people see that like, oh, Billie Eilish has all these Grammys and she's 18. Oh, like random artists, random
like
actors.
they're crazy. They're like, but that's the thing is even with that, like that requires like not just like 40, 50, 60 hours of work. That's like hundreds of hours. Like
you're dedicating. That's
all you got to do. Even like before they even get to that point, like Kanye making 5 beats a day for 3 summers, like
that's
crazy.
That's enough heat for 3 summers.
Like, damn. Like I feel like I don't know. People want a lot of stuff and don't want to work for it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I hate saying that like people our age act really entitled because now I sound like a boomer where it's like, oh, you kids and your phones or whatever. But like in comparison to people in my age range, I don't consider myself more socially mature. My name is Spongebob. My Twitter name is a goddamn Spongebob handle. Like, whatever. Whatever. But like, I'll get my shit done. There's different levels to like maturity. I'm like, will I be the guy like turning up at the club with you, like dancing to freaking Baby Shark. Like, yeah, I don't give a damn. I'm here to have a good time. But when it comes down to it, you got to do what you got to do. I'm like, I set goals, and I'm like, yo, I want to be able to buy this house by this age. I want to be able to do this, and you just, once you're more goal oriented, you can just hit them, like, and then if you don't get to them, then grind harder and try harder rather than blame someone else or bitch about it. Like, it's really easy to look at the next person's blessing and just be like, oh, fuck that guy. You know, he's got it made. I'm like, no, why don't you study what he did and try to get more like him rather than just hate on what he's done? You know, clearly he's doing something better than you.
Yeah. Do you have a vision board? I know. No.
What's the exact definition of a vision?
Like, I don't know, just like a whiteboard that you're like, oh, I want to do this thing. I want to do this thing. I want to do this thing. Because, like you listened to the did you listen to the whole podcast with me and Dev? Like the whole.
No.
Okay, so towards the end, we talk about having like a list of things that like you want to hit by a certain time.
Yeah.
And so like I started doing that in July, because before it was just like I had a lot of energy and I would just like do a bunch of things, and even like that's unproductive too, just to like work just for work's sake, because then at that point then you're just like you're busy. And I've like that took me a little bit to like realize too, like being productive and being busy are two completely different things. Like you could be like, oh yeah, I did this today, but like if it's a bunch of stupid shit, not like pushing you forward, then like what's the point of doing it? Like, So like I got the idea from him, and it's just literally just like a list of things like, oh, I want to do like one of them was I want to do like 10 episodes of the podcast. So like this is season 2, baby. We fucking out here. So that one's checked. But like I've noticed for me that like that's helped me become more goal oriented, just because I needed to like see it and like physically check it off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you.
Oh no, my entire like Google Keep, which is like my notes app, is just filled with to-do lists, like checklists and things that I have to just knock out, because you set short-term goal. Like, you know, some people have like really, really long-term goals. Like, oh, I want my first daughter to be a WNBA player, something like that. I'm like, dude, you got to do this. Like, you got to work on getting a girl first. But before you get a girl, you got to work on getting a job and getting like a house. And then you got to work on your image. Like, you know, there's smaller goals become the bigger goals at the end. So yeah, I just set like really small goals that are easily attainable. Like, my fucking to-do list right now is like clean out my car. Like, I drove my car recently and I just threw a bunch of shit in the door, the little trash can things, and it bothers me. So I'm like, I'm just gonna clean it out. Like, I'll literally just put that so I don't forget it. And it ties into the whole, if you're responsible in one aspect, you'll be responsible in like all of them. So yeah, no, I completely agree with that. You could just be busy doing complete nonsense.
Yeah,
like,
just like I
was busy watching fucking Spongebob today.
Yeah, you could be like, oh, I knocked out 2-3 seasons of SpongeBob. I cleaned my car. Like, I washed my shoes. Like, that's fucking cool. You were busy all day, but like, if you didn't do something that you wanted to.
Meanwhile, you had a ticket that like you had to go pay off.
Yeah,
and then now you have a warrant for your arrest. And you're like, shit. But I watched that SpongeBob though.
Damn, but you know, Octavius Rex, we got him. We found out that he worked at Weenie Hut Jr.
Yep, I'm definitely watching that. Like, that might not be productive, but I'm gonna watch that episode as soon as I get home.
So that was the other thing that I was gonna ask. And normally in the second half we start with a segment, but you know what? Fuck it, we not out here to stick to no format.
Exactly. We ain't letting the world decide what we do.
So, I mean, like, you seem like you got, like, you're fucking, like, you seem like your Google Calendar is packed, like, top to bottom. You seem like you're always doing something. And, like, to me, because, like, I don't know.
Just, you know, I could see how externally one would think that, but no, you find time for the things you want to actually do. Like, work. That's why, like, I enjoy this job, because there's not a lot of work from home stuff to do. Like, once I go home, it's over, because I'll knock out everything I need to do while I'm at work. The houses, rental properties manage themselves. Like, you'll have a couple of issues every, like, change of the seasons. Like, wintertime, someone might have a furnace problem. Then you just get the furnace guy to go out there, whatever. And then, I mean, yeah, I stay busy, but I would never consider myself too busy. Like, you hit me up. You're like, yo, you want to do a podcast thing? Yeah. And I was like, yo, Thursday. Like, and the only reason I couldn't do, like, previous days is I was working from home yesterday, and then, like, I got a wedding to go to next weekend in Cali, so I got to do some suit shopping and shit. Like, it's little things like that. Like, it's not – people think, like, I'm biting off more than I can chew. Like, whenever I tell people, Usually people like around my age are like, dude, you could be doing so much more. I'm like, all right, enlighten me. What would you rather I do with my time?
Yeah.
And like 90% of the things that they say, I'm like, I already do that.
Yeah.
And like most of them are stupid things. Like, bro, you could be drinking more or watch some TV show.
That's the thing that like blows my mind when people are like, yo, you tell me you're not having fun. Like you could be doing like you should come out with this. I'm like, bro, my thing is I don't like to spend money like that. Like to me, like that is a waste. Like to go out, I'd rather kick it with a couple of friends or my cousins and like go to someone's house and like drink a little bit with them. But like go to a bar, you gotta drive, you get food, you get dinner. Like it's like $50-$60. Like, bro, fuck that. I'd rather save that.
Not to mention likelihood of DUI, you driving drunk, and like likelihood
you
of
gotta
getting
pay for
an
the Uber back.
Yeah, whatever it may be. So all of it adds up. And like when I was in school, I was the same way. Like my friends. All right, so funny story. Coworkers at like my first job, you know, they were around the same age. We all graduated together. They got their first paychecks. And, like, you know, it's our first big boy paychecks. I'm like, all right, cool. They were like, let's spend it all right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, on what? Like,
I don't know. Let's just blow it.
Literally blow on anything and everything. We'd go out for lunch, and this kid I used to work with, he would just go, like, you know, let's go to a 5-star restaurant for lunch today. I'm like, dude, we've been eating, like, you know, regular food, like $10 or less for lunch this whole time. Why would we change now?
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, we have money now. We have to spend it. So that's where you end up in that consumer mindset where you are stuck working for your entire life because you like it's so easy to get caught in that mindset nowadays because like the people that are around us influencing us like ask a high school like girl who she wants to look like or who she wants to dress like. She's gonna be, oh, Kim K, Kylie, you know, like she's got these red bottoms on. Cardi B said she had these. She dropped 1,000 on shoes, and it's like, boom, I need these shoes.
Yeah.
What happens when you grind your ass off, work like, you know, 2-3 months, save up, you buy the shoes, you put them on, and you're like, fuck.
Different shoes.
No, but you're like, fuck, why am I not happy? I have these shoes. I'm supposed to be happy. This person said I would. But yeah, then as soon as you get it, then they switch it up. Then it's like, oh, yo, Converses are in now. What do you mean? You're still wearing red bottoms, you bum? So it's like, oh, shit. Now these shoes are worth nothing. I have nothing to show for it. And, like, yeah, that's the consumer mindset where people are chasing, like, the idea of happiness rather than their own idea. Because everyone has their, like, me personally, I'd like to go home, relax, play some Smash Bros, and just kick it and have a lazy night. You might want to go home, make a beat, produce some videos, do whatever it is. So, like, different people have different mindsets, whereas some of the people I interact with, they just be like, dude, I want to go home and drink. I want to consume alcohol, and I want to watch that new movie. That will be happiness. And then they come back, and they're like, I am no longer happy. I lost $40 on that shit, and I am not happy. Fuck. So, like, at the end of the day, you got to just do you and fucking, yeah, just do you.
Hell yeah. So I was gonna say for a segment, what if you could spend a whole day doing maybe not nothing, but your version of give me your happiness day. Just a whole day, like your ideal day. Boom. Top to bottom.
Ideal day. One, we're somewhere warmer.
Not this. You're not loving this Michigan 26 degree.
I was gonna say it was a pretty crisp 27 today.
Yeah,
so I was feeling good.
Chicago outside, windy as hell. I forgot my hoodie. My neck's all cold.
Yeah.
All right, somewhere warm.
Speaking into existence, I do plan on moving like to either like Miami, San Diego, or somewhere because that's my definition of happiness is not being stuck in this Arctic tundra that we call like this is a bare environment. This is not where humans are supposed to live. Humans just set up shop here and we built houses and shit. But like other than that, I'd wake up bright and early, probably go for a run in the morning because I care about like wellness and like health because at the end of the day, what's the purpose of having money and being successful if you're just fucking sick? If you're either too fat to spend it, or you got some sort of illness from just being out of shape or whatever it is. So like
Mozzie said it best: health is wealth, and I need my bag.
Done. That right there. That's all it is. So like I would wake up bright and early, run, grab some solid breakfast. And the running would have to be like on the beach, like a badass view, you know, if you're somewhere warm at this point. And then I'd have to have the people I love around me as well. Like, what am I going to fucking do by myself? I'd go crazy. Yeah. So, I'd just be kicking it with like friends, family, like extended family, cousins and shit, and we just be fucking bulling it up, like just doing
straight
stupid
vibe checking.
Yeah, just stupid shit. Like me and my cousins hang out like once every 2 weeks, I'd say, just to play like Mario Party.
Yeah.
Or like Smash Bros. Or like some random bullshit game board that we just bought from Myers for like $10.
Same, bro. I'm hurting because it's been a couple of months since I've had a cousin's day.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn. So I'm with you. Okay. So somewhere warm, with your people you love.
Yup, warm, people around me, ability to exercise, good food, and see, I'm not the type to sit still either. Like when people say like they want to watch a new movie or a TV show, I'm like, I don't believe in like diagnosing people with fucking ADHD and shit like that, because like kids, that's a whole different topic. We don't even get on that, but like, yeah, I am more hyper, I'm more active than the average person. Do I think that's a bad thing? Hell no. I'm like, that's why these motherfuckers are fat as shit, because they're sitting while I'm moving. It's not rocket science here. So like, yeah, it goes back to that, where like people want to diagnose you as being a certain way because you are not like them, and I'm like, my ideal day is not sitting around and drinking with you guys. I'm sorry. I want to go out. I want to go for a run. I want to go explore. Like, let's go hike. Let's go.
Have you ever gone skydiving?
No, it's on my
That's on
vision board.
vision board right here.
I always said before 30 it's gonna go down, and I'm terrified of heights. Like,
really?
I am not even afraid. I'm a grown ass man. I'm scared of heights. In my past life, I feel like I fell off of a building and died. Like, I literally get those vibes whenever I'm somewhere high up.
Bro, I think skydiving. So this is I think this is so fucking weird to me. I have been obsessed with skydiving since I was like a fucking boy. Since a wee one.
Have you ever been?
No.
Oh,
but I told myself once I graduated college I would go, but I just haven't got around to it yet.
Yeah, I've seen people do that on their graduation day.
But like, bungee jumping scares the fuck out of me. That's the one where I like want to do it just to be able to be like, yo, I did it. But that's one where I'm like, I don't know.
I feel you on that. I will go skydiving a million times before I go bungee jumping once. And like, yeah, it's just the heights. Like, I love roller coasters. I don't like Ferris wheels.
Yeah, Ferris wheel too slow.
Ferris wheel, you're just chilling up top for a hot minute. And you're just looking over. The wind hits you. You're at Cedar Point. And the thing starts rocking back and forth. And you're like, what if a gust of wind just comes and grabs me and throws me out this bitch right now, you know? But, you know, like, put me on the dragster, put me on any ride. I'm like, hell yeah, this is a blast. I love this. But, yeah, all the skydiving videos I watch, like, I got the VR headset and I watch a couple. My palms are sweaty as hell, just looking out the window, because, you know, they fuck around with you, the skydiving.
Yeah, and I think you got to do like 5 or 10 jumps, and then you can do it by yourself.
So yeah, like, where they're just holding on, like swinging back and forth, and you're just like dangling, I have a cousin who went skydiving. I have a couple friends that did it as well, and the way they describe it to me is that as soon as you jump, your brain just turns into like mush, because like it's a feeling that you've never experienced.
Yeah,
and you haven't had a feeling like this since you were a kid, and like you obviously don't remember the first time you touched like fire or something because you were so young, and you're like, I'm never gonna do that again. You jump out of a plane, your brain's just like, what's going on? I've never felt this before, and you get this crazy adrenaline rush and everything else. So no, it's gonna happen. Like,
that like makes me want to get like look more into it right now. Have you ever done the indoor ones?
No.
I feel like that one would be scarier than actually jumping, because I feel like you're so close to the ground, and you're like, if that bitch drops, you boom,
right into it.
Break your nose right there.
Yeah, no, the indoor one never intrigued me, because I'm like, I want the real thing.
Yeah, I want the real thing.
I want to do the real thing and just call it a day. But no, it's going to happen, and it's going to be spur of the moment. It can't be something I thought through and planned, because it will haunt me the entire like week that I wait for it. I got to just wake up one day.
One day be like, all right, today's the day.
Yeah, I'm not telling anyone either.
Maybe when you're at the the when you're go to Cali, just be like, all right, today, fuck it.
This is it. Today's the day it's happening. I'm actually going to be with my girl, and she's gone skydiving before. So.
Oh, shit.
Yes, if you're watching this now, I'm going skydiving eventually, all right? It's going to happen. Yeah, no, she went skydiving with her mom, and she loved it. And she was like, same description I gave you. You just jump out, and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
I wanted it. Like, that seems so sweet to me.
And there was a point in my life where, like, very few people I knew went skydiving. And, like, I got a little older, and, like, one in every like 3 or 4 people I ask have gone. So I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm missing out. I need to do this. This is like, everyone wants to say they did something that others like haven't done. So it's like, shit, I want to do that now. Let's go skydiving. So yeah, one of these days I'm just gonna wake up and just hop out of a perfectly good airplane. I'm not gonna tell my family either because they'd be terrified.
Oh
and
yeah.
Be like, what the hell are you thinking?
Okay.
Jumping out of a plane. I'm just gonna send her the video after it's done.
Just pay the extra $50 for the GoPro right in your face.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to get.
Hell
Send
yeah.
it to her. She'd be like, I hate you. It's done now. I'm good.
I made it. And then just add a little clip at the end. Just be like, yeah, if I don't make it, this is here's the video anyways.
I gotta update the will for all the houses at that point. Like, shit.
Oh man. All right, Maher. I think we're getting close to the end. So I'm gonna end it with same way I end all of these. You think we should do a podcast?
Yes.
That's it.
Well, that's all, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time. A Tone Time production.